Kia ora everyone, Lewis here with your national weather outlook for the weekend. It's been quite a nice week around the country, but that is all about to change as we move through into the weekend. So even here on Friday, it's a little bit bitsy around the country. There is some rain, plenty of cloud cover, but we need to look to the Tasman where we can see quite a bit going on, and that is where predominantly most of our weather is going to be coming from as we move through into the weekend. So here we can see a few fronts lingering around the country, not really doing too much, but as we can see moving into Saturday, this low pressure system out here is going to bring widespread rain, some heavy rain, so quite blustery winds as well. And you can see really moving over the North Island on Saturday and that northern half of the South Island. You can see actually a cold front pushing up across the South Island, which is going to bring that risk of snow mainly around that northern part of the South Island late on Sunday. So even here we go, end of Sunday, there's still plenty going on around the country. A very messy situation. It is a good weekend to stay up to date with the weather forecast, especially if you're planning any sort of outdoor activities or even if you're trying to travel around the country, as we could see quite a lot of rain, wind, and there is that potential for snow as well. Just quickly going to flash up our current severe weather forecast. There is plenty of severe weather watches in force. There is the potential that they will be upgraded to severe weather warnings. So do keep an eye on the forecast if you're heading out anywhere this weekend. Just in case that is upgraded, there will be plenty of weather to take a look at. And I am just going to take a quick look at the start of the weekend. The temperatures still relatively cool around the South Island, and as we move further up to the north, it is really telling the story of the weekend. It is going to be warm and wet across the North Island, whereas we're going to get mostly cold weather with those cold fronts moving up the South Island this weekend. So just taking another look at Saturday, you can see that low pressure system really rolling in, bringing widespread rain. There is going to be some heavy rain, even a risk of thunderstorms around the Taranaki region late on Saturday. There will most definitely be some rain in Auckland around game time for the All Blacks. It does look like it should be easing around game time. That heavier rain looks to fall a little bit more in the afternoon, but it will definitely be a game you'll want to pack a jacket for. And you see plenty of north or northwesterly winds buffeting across the North Island. The South Island does have a bit more of a break, but we'll get more to that shortly. So here we are. If you take a look at the east coast of the North Island, actually it's going to see the better weather across, or the drier weather across the North Island this Saturday. You can see a lot of that rain moving in the second half of the day, and it is really going to start invading the skies of most people, especially by the end of the day. Even that eastern coast will get a little bit of that rain moving over them as well. And it's not just the rain, there is that potential for wind as well. So taking a look at the temperatures, you can see it is going to be a warm one, but that does also bring with it that wet weather. And even overnight, those temperatures aren't going to be dropping off too much thanks to the cloud cover and that wind. A high of 20 degrees for Napier is forecast on Saturday. I think even warmer as we move into Sunday. Now shifting down into the South Island, we can see it's a little bit more settled, especially around the morning time. We're actually getting potentially some clear skies along that eastern coast. This rain down in the south and west does look to just kind of linger there through the majority of the day. In that afternoon, evening period, we can see some rain beginning to make its way into the northern regions. And actually towards the very end of the day, you can see this does just get a little southerly push. That is where that cold air is going to be coming in from as we move further into the weekend. So still a little break in the cloud forecast around the sort of central parts of the South Island. And looking at the temperatures, warm in the north, cooler in the south. I mean, Invercargill with that cloud and that rain isn't going to manage a very warm daytime temperature, but if you move northwards up the South Island, you can see those warmer temperatures will be seen there with that warm air coming in. So it's not so much going to be the sunshine, it is just going to be that arrival of that warm air, which is also bringing with it that moisture. So it is going to be a pretty wet day around those northern regions. And we're going to take a look through Sunday, seeing that low pressure system really starting to roll onto the country, that cold air moving up, that potential for snow, especially around those northern parts of the South Island. Still just very persistent wet weather across the North Island as we move through the rest of Sunday. And you can see that cold air is bringing some clearer skies, but that risk for snow through most of the South Island. So end of Sunday, still a very messy situation. And just going to take a quick look at Monday. Even cooler air does make its way into the south of the South Island, so there is snow potential there through parts of Monday. We could see snow getting down to around that 200-metre mark. But really through the rest of Monday, we just set up a sort of southwesterly wind flow across the country. Things will be a little bit more settled than they were over the weekend, especially for the North Island. But by the end of Monday, still a relatively messy situation, but on that easing trend. So there is going to be plenty of weather around the country this weekend. That is all from me. Please head to metservice.com to stay up to date.